You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing the one, the only, Bangtan Boys, BTS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We are going to do essentially the cream of the K-pop crop. I will say that for a very long time, I was BTS's #1 fan. And that has since changed. I don't really follow BTS anymore. They did this thing where, and I am not faulting them for this, get that many boys, get your popularity, but once they started kind of getting popularity in the West, their music started changing to fit a more Western audience. And then it kind of took everything that I really loved about BTS and pushed it to the side. And it's not even that they weren't still making quality music, they were, but it just wasn't music for me. Particularly things like Permission to Dance, that one I actually just I unequivocally hated Permission to Dance. So there's just they went on a different path. I'm really happy for them. I think they deserve every ounce of success that they've gotten. They've worked really hard for it. So we're gonna be doing older songs by BTS today, songs that I love, songs that, you know, were on repeat for me for weeks. Actually, fun story, my dad loves BTS. When I first started getting into K-pop, all I had on the TV was BTS, and he would just be like,
"Oh my god, these boys are so talented. He's dancing is insane." And
he loved BTS. He would sit down and watch BTS with me for hours, live performances of them, and just and he'd go to work and be like,
"Have you guys heard of BTS?"
It was a nice thing for us to connect on in terms of my interests. So this is gonna be one of the harder decisions I make in terms of what songs I show you, because BTS's catalog is insane. They were prolific for a period prior to when they really started getting popular in the West. They were just releasing album after album after single, and they all hit, which is kind of crazy because they were on a smaller label at the time. So the fact that they were releasing so frequently and that each release was quality is kind of crazy for a group on a label like they were. So you really don't know much about BTS.
You stupid bitch.
He's kind of a fresh little BTS flower over here.
It's just a baby.
I don't think you've heard anything by BTS other than the one song I showed you.
They have the Fortnite emotes, right?
Other than the Fortnite stuff, yeah. And maybe the stuff that was on American Idol, like Butter. So we're gonna be doing Mic Drop and Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Blood, Sweat, and Tears probably because it's iconic BTS. It is the song, I think I would say it was the song that helped catapult them into stardom in the West. That's Blood, Sweat, and Tears was when they really started getting noticed by Western audiences and embraced. I mean, it started happening before then, don't get me wrong. BTS was a phenomenon in Korea. Any thoughts on BTS?
No.
I didn't think so. And by the way, this video was pure sex, and this was kind of a new thing for BTS. They were always sexy, you know, they're hot guys, but this video is sex. It is just sex appeal. It oozes sex. It drips it.
Sex. Got it.
Sex. It is a beautiful video too.
Okay.
Normally these long cinematic intros bug me, but not with this one.
Yeah, we do tend to skip them.
That's the bias.
Okay.
The bass there.
He too was a tempter. He too was a link to the second. The evil world with which I no longer wanted to have anything to do.
Were they trying to link this towards like other songs and videos? And
I believe they did at the time. I don't
Okay.
really recall, but I think so.
quite the long
Yeah.
pause there.
Yeah. It's a little bit jarring when you go right back into it.
Yeah.
Beautiful video, though.
Yeah, pretty interesting video. Overall, didn't do a lot for me.
I didn't think it would, but I wanted to show you
Yeah.
peak BTS.
Okay.
Because I really feel like this is the song that did it for them. Or at
Okay.
least, like I said, they were already getting popularity in the West, but this song fucking just like...
But it's provocative.
No, it's not. It's
Gets
gross.
the people going.
Like after they released this one, they were invited to perform at the Billboard Music Awards, which is huge, right, for a Korean group. They did Fake Love actually at the Music Awards, so it just feels like this was not the start of it all, but like the catalyst. So I feel like it's important to hear.
I could see that. Like it's definitely not like a bad song, but in terms of like, is it written for someone like me? Not really. It kind of felt like, you know, a bunch of dudes like grinding on me and stuff while I'm trying to like listen to it. And
it's for the female gaze. For sure.
It's well produced and stuff like that. You know, does it do anything super interesting musically? Like there's a couple like vocal notes in there that I thought were cool. You know, just like a few high notes that they would inject in there. I like that. That's kind of it. So it's
not my favorite BTS song either.
Yeah.
If I were rating it, I'd probably give it like a 7.5, something like that.
7 is about where I'm at too, and that's kind of mostly from like technical points of just like, you know, it's just well done for what it is. So I can't.
It's a 10 production wise.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. But it's a lot of this. Everything with this new K-pop is going to be up to personal taste, right? So like even if you can recognize that the song is really well done, really well produced, and the vocals are wonderful or whatever, that doesn't mean it's going to hit for you personally. But I do think this song is important in terms of understanding who BTS is.
And it's interesting because like while I was watching the video, I was like, even though this was kind of like a female gaze thing, I kind of feel like we've watched other videos in which that's been kind of the case too there, but I would still like it, you know. So there's a fine needle to thread there in order to like do something like that and still get me. So I think it's definitely possible to do that.
It just wasn't this song.
It wasn't this song. Yeah.
That's fair. Okay. Hopefully the next one will be a little bit more to your taste. It is a bop. This one will be a little bit more on the hip hop side versus the pop side, although there's still that pop thread to it. And I will tell you, Steve Aoki, we're doing the Steve Aoki remix, which is really the version of the song that everyone listens to anyway.
Okay.
He took a good song and made it exceptional. So Steve Aoki works some magic here.
Already more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the BTS I much prefer.
Much better. Yeah. This is already like a 10.
Yeah.
Like already.
Yep.
We're there.
The bias.
It's nice, okay. Yeah, that was so much more up my alley.
In the future, if we do more BTS, I would show you their more hip-hop sided stuff, because that's the stuff that I like by BTS. So
yeah, like that was instantly more interesting to me. That was definitely like kind of aimed at a much more broader audience, I feel like.
Sure.
And just like the beats, you could definitely kind of see Steve Aoki's, you know, his stamp on there for sure. And for the most part, BTS kind of not necessarily predates everybody, but like at least in terms of like blowing up, they kind of did that before everybody.
they were the
right?
first.
Yeah. So
I mean, you could say to a lesser extent, groups like Girls' Generation and Super Junior had Western appeal. Nobody got to the level that BTS did, though. They were pioneers in that way. They are responsible for bringing K-pop to the West. Like, it was always here in small increments and in a niche way. BTS popularized it here. And that's huge. I don't think that what BTS did here with K-pop can really be understated. What they did was nothing short of miraculous. Because when you think about how hard it is to bring a foreign language music to the States and have Americans accept it and be okay with not understanding, that's huge. That doesn't happen. That's really hard. It's even hard for Spanish artists when we have a large Spanish speaking population here. So for Korean, which very small amount of population speaks, for them to break through like that, incredible.
I was mentioning that because I can kind of feel like watching them and seeing like whatever formulas they had going on, you can kind of see a little bit of that with like some of the other groups that we were watching. And so you can kind of see how like these other groups may have studied what BTS was doing and what worked for them, took what was working and kind of made their own thing out of it.
I can't tell you how many current recent boy groups are informed by what BTS did. And it's not in a like copycat way or anything like that. It's just like an evolution, right? In K-pop, like BTS did this certain thing and it was good. Why wouldn't they want to make good music too? You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I think you can see it in a lot of the groups that are around today.
Yeah, you can't help but look at someone's success and be like, okay, they blew up and it's big, but you know what goes along with that is that it got big because it's that good. And so they would probably more so studying that aspect rather than the getting big part. And so that would make sense for it to have an evolution, you know, just using that as the foundation. But yeah, that was definitely a 10.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it is. It's beyond catchy. I say this a lot, but the swagger in this, like their confidence, their like, because the whole song is about like, I can't hear you. I'm too high up. Like I'm doing too well. That I don't have time to acknowledge my haters kind of thing. And you can see it and feel it in their performance and their delivery. Like the nonchalance, just everything about this performance is perfect and it fits perfectly with the song and thematically what it's trying to achieve. And I feel like I know what the song's about because I've listened to it a bazillion times. You wouldn't necessarily, but like I'm sure you could feel there was like
there's a whole lot of like attitude in there for sure.
A lot of attitude. Yeah.
You know, I can't help but think that, you know, when I'm watching them do this stuff, it feels like in its own way like a more raw version of what I've seen, because it's again like those are evolutions of what came from this basically. And so like NCT kind of comes to mind. They feel like a more refined version of what I just saw, which is like not a not a backhanded compliment by any means. It's more like that's just kind of proof that like there was influence in NCT that came probably from BTS.
I
And so
think they would happily claim any modern boy group that they were influenced by BTS.
yeah, and so it was kind of interesting. Like there was like again, there's like a rawness to it. There's like more air there, whereas like later videos would be like much more like quicker cuts and like, you know, things are just moving faster a little bit, and like this second there's even just like a breath to be taken, they fill it with something, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it's not so much that. It's
Yeah.
like it is there, but maybe and maybe that's like their intent, but they probably weren't pushing it to that
Yeah.
limit, because this is kind of maybe more new ground at the time.
Right. Absolutely, BTS were pioneers in terms of sonically. You know, what is it called? The something moment, like when they change. What is it called? I can't think of the word. I'm gonna remember after this. It's gonna fucking kill me. But yeah, they like heralded a new age of K-pop, and they did what they did so well that it couldn't help but like transcend to, you know, other cultures. Like I think that's really special. And what I really love about Mic Drop is that they switch up the song enough that it never feels repetitive, but none of the switch ups feel like they don't belong in the song. Because we've talked about Franken songs and things like that, and this is not a Franken song. Everything in this song is cohesive and belongs in the song without feeling too jarring. But it also switches it up enough that you don't feel like it's one kind of like Growl is like kind of one note, even though I love Growl, it's one of my favorite EXO songs. It's kind of one note, whereas this is like 5 notes without sounding disjarring, or without sounding jarring or disjointed. So yeah, this is a 10 for me too, easily. It's probably one of my all-time favorite BTS. I haven't actually showed you my all-time favorite BTS song, but this ranks highly amongst them.
Okay, I can see why. Yeah, this kind of reminds me of like a Kick It kind of thing.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah, actually, Kick It and Mic Drop, very similar songs. They don't sound alike. I wouldn't say like one is like plagiarizing one or the other or anything like that, but they are very similar in terms of like attitude, swag, the bass.
Influence could be taken for sure.
Yeah.
But
in a completely different vehicle.
No, like they could definitely be like, well, let's just do our own thing, but let's make sure we have that kind of energy when we do it.
Yeah,
And, like,
I can see that. I can see that, yeah.
Cool.
So that's your introduction to BTS?
That's it. But okay, guys, that's it from us. Feel free to let us know in the comments if you want us to check out any more BTS or anything else, and we'll see what we can do. So, but that's it.
Bye.
See ya. Traitor.
It's not gonna happen, baby boy. You're not going back there.
Yeah,
Ow.
biter. Get her.
Ow. Ow.
Yep.
Oh, you're gonna